It was a dark and stormy night, with the wind howling fiercely and the sky shrouded in thick clouds. Tony worked as a delivery driver for a local pizzeria, and even in such harsh weather conditions, he had to make sure orders were delivered on time. As midnight approached, he received a delivery call. "Mrs. Johnson," Tony said before hanging up the phone, "I'm approaching your place." Mrs. Johnson had ordered a pizza to an old, desolate house at the edge of the village. Everyone said that this house was haunted. But Tony didn't believe in such stories. He had a job to do to earn his money. The house had been abandoned for years, left to decay. Windows were boarded out, and the roof had caved in at several places. However, Tony was determined to do his job. As he reached the front door, the wind had intensified, and raindrops clung to him like a soaked cat. He stood at the doorstep and rang the bell. There was a moment of silence, and then a deep groan was heard. The door creaked open slowly. Tony pushed the door open and stepped inside. The house was dark, and the silence was eerie. Only the sound of rain pounding the roof could be heard. Tony took a few steps further into the house, and the door suddenly slammed shut behind him, locking him inside. Panic set in, but then he noticed a candle on the wall. In the candle's flickering light, he looked around and found a note on the dining table. The note read, "Welcome, Tony." In fear, Tony continued to explore the surroundings. Suddenly, a chair flew through the air, crashing against the wall. Tony tried to run, but the house seemed to be following his every step. As the screams and mysterious events escalated, Tony attempted to flee, but the walls of the house trapped him. Finally, he was dragged towards the bedroom and stopped in the middle of the room. At the center of the bed, Mrs. Johnson's ghost materialized. Mrs. Johnson stared at him, frozen, and in a deep voice said, "Welcome, Tony. You will stay here." Tony's screams and desperate struggles were in vain. The haunted house had trapped him forever.